Welcome to Protective Diet Education lesson number 187, and this class is the PD groove. Enjoying the process and maintaining the PD advantage. In this lesson, I'm going to share action steps to assist you to get into the groove. Also, I'll share examples of the PD groove so you know what I'm talking about. If you're new to a protective diet, you might not be aware of this yet, but our community is filled with PD success stories, and these members are grooving along, and nothing ever gets in their way of their practice of a protective diet to maintain optimal health and to protect their endothelium. I don't know. We've heard it called a lot of different things, but especially from new friends that we teach about the endothelium. But it's called the endothelium. It's a single cellular layer wall that runs throughout all your blood vessels and your lymph nodes, and it protects us from disease. It's basically the foundation of our immune system. And when we're in the groove, the PD groove, we're not going to let anything impact our immune system or our ability to maintain optimal health. And all that takes is the practice of a protective diet. And then we go into more lifestyle things that we can change and improve in our home environment, in our car environment, reducing stress. All of these things impact our endothelium, but the number one impact that we can make a change very quickly and easily and maintain 3 times a day or more if we choose snacks is our diet. So some of the examples I'd like to share, and also as I'm sharing examples of being in the PD groove, we have a classroom full of experience here. We always do every week. Thank you so much for tuning in live. It's always our experts, our people that have been with us since the start of protective diet education almost 4 years ago. And then we have some newer people that have joined and jumped right in, like Barbara. And please share how you knew when you were in the groove and when things started to feel like I'm going to talk about here. So when you know you're in the groove, usually you've shared a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day testimonial, and you've been amazed. You're like, I can't believe how good this is, how easy this has been. Or in the beginning it was a little challenging, but now it's like a pleasure. Or you're on vacation and you're traveling home. You're either driving home from the airport or your flight is in air, and all you can think about is your fresh restock and what you're going to make on your setup day when you return home. Or maybe, how could I stop at the store on my way home from the airport? Those thoughts start going through your mind, and I see a lot of posts in our support group about this. I've read it in many testimonials after you've gotten into the groove of practicing a protective diet, where you are eager to come home from a trip or from being away from your kitchen, or what we call our workplace of wellness, and you can't wait to get back to it and make some outstanding meals, because maybe while you were traveling you were still practicing your protective diet, of course, because you're in the groove and you've experienced the benefits and how much it's worth the efforts, and the efforts have now turned into a pleasure. So you can't wait to get home and make really great tasting, high quality meals because you've missed them on your trip. And that's when you know you're in the PD groove. Jerry, is someone writing in?
Sally wrote in and said that on their way home from the airport on Sunday, or on Saturday rather, they stopped at the grocery store to pick up food. So.
Fantastic, Sally. You are definitely in the PD groove. And I'm thrilled to have you in our classroom and back from your trip. And that's exactly how I feel, and I see that over and over again when people are taken away from their kitchen to go play and have fun, or to go on business trips, and they come home and they're excited to actually start cooking. And these are a lot of times people that didn't enjoy cooking. We have a lot of people like that in our community. They didn't end up in a place that they had to do a nutritional intervention like a protective diet because they were cooking healthy food all their life. Maybe they were driving through the fast food lane most of their life, and they got into the situation they were in. So now they are just learning how to cook. And when we cook and it produces results like a protective diet does, it becomes very exciting to do more of it. It's kind of like exercise. When you first get into exercise, it's painful, it's challenging, it's like, oh, I dread this, I don't want to do this, you have to pack your gym bag the night before you go to work and go on your way home from work, go straight to the gym to get yourself to do it. But then once you get good at it, it starts to feel good and you start to look forward to it. The same exact thing happens with cooking. If you're just getting started and cooking is not your thing, please let me know. Please let me know when it starts to become your thing, because it happens to all of us. The ones that we least expect it to happen to, sometimes it becomes even more of a fun hobby for them. But they're setting up their workplace for wellness with those workplace for wellness setup lessons. So watch those in the archives and get through those and get your environment set up, because that's what's going to give you the pleasure in the kitchen. Okay, so then we have, during Hurricane Irma, we saw many examples of people being in the PD groove. They were packing their hurricane kits to take with them to the shelter. They were not having to go out and round up much at all. They went straight to their PD pantry and boxed it up. My mother was one of those people, and I keep messing up with her age because she just keeps getting ahead of me. I think she's 76 now. Is that right, Jerry?
What year was she born?
41. February 41. So she's 76, and she didn't do much shopping, and I was kind of anxious. I'm like, Mom, go to your pantry. Do you have this? Of course I have this. Of course I have this. And she got through the hurricane just fine on puffed cereal, oranges. This is how she said it. I have puffed cereal. I have oranges. I have apples. I'm fine. And I'm just like, oh, Mom, don't you think you're going to need more than that? She's like, no, I'm fine. It's going to be a few days or so, and it's fine. I have soy milk, and she was just fine, as all of you were. And then I saw the return of the power in Florida after the hurricane, and everybody went straight to their kitchens and got cooking and made these beautiful meals, and thank you for sharing photographs of them. And my mom was one of these people. She's like, I've got to make some ultimate cheese sauce, and she was back in the kitchen cooking. So congratulations to all of you that have gotten to this point. And we are going into fall now, and when we started PD Ed, I want to remind you, it was in October. And a lot of people were kind of anxious, like, oh, I'm going to start a protective diet right before the holidays. Maybe I should wait until the new year. But I urge you to get into it now, because by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, you're going to be totally into the PD groove. You're going to be able to share a protective diet holiday feast. We have pretty much every recipe to replace everything, and turkey will not go missing on your plate this year if you're into the groove of your practice of a protective diet. I saw that the priority for a protective diet was for all of the people that were going through a hurricane that were in our community, and their focus was like, oh, I've got to get my PD supplies together. And I think that helped to reduce some stress as well, because they had this routine of what they ate every day, and they were able to see with their pantry, well, I could have this, I could have this. And we all discussed it in the support group to try and help encourage them and help them find some peace in a time that was very scary and not knowing what to expect. So congratulations to all of you, and all of you who are going through maybe hardships or times when it's stressful in your life. Maybe you're experiencing a loss. We had a class on that early on in protective diet education about sticking to your practice as your constant. It's the one thing you can always count on, the one thing that's always going to reward you and moving forward and sticking to it through hard times. You might have all this stressful stuff going on around you, but your practice can pull you through. It gives you something to focus your energy on that's positive. And you're seeing your practice as a positive thing, not as a sacrifice. So that's going to bring you some joy during those times. One size of clothes is in your closet when you are in the groove. Why? Because you let go of those bigger sizes. Why? Because weight loss and weight maintenance doesn't occupy your every thought anymore, because you're achieving goals. You're seeing the success unfolding if you're practicing full time and you're sticking to it. And make notes in that calendar of achievements so that you stick to it and you don't start doing what we talked about in a recent lesson about slipping things back in there, because it's hard when you get to your goal. Sometimes you think, well, I'm here, I'm going to start adding these foods back in, like nuts and things that mess up our taste bud reprogramming, and then all of a sudden we're more on that side of eating those off-plan foods than we realize, and then we have to start over again. But you can always start over, but I don't want you to go through that struggling time. So that's where I want you to let go of those larger size clothes and understand that with your full-time commitment to a protective diet, to more than anything than a protective diet, to your endothelium, to your immune system, to optimal health, to the animals, to the environment, with a protective diet, you are not going to ever have to worry about weight loss or weight gain again. It's a fantastic place to be when you get into the PD groove.
There's an applicable groove.
Okay.
Angela wrote in saying that the first time she ordered non-PD food, it was at the airport, and the bag was soaked with oil. So she gave it back to them and went on her way without any food. And she didn't feel any urge or any need to eat the off-plan food. And now she says all she does is bring her own, so that she doesn't have to rely on the food at the airport.
That's awesome. Great example. Yeah, we can very easily turn down things that maybe were our favorites before because we see the negatives in them when we're in the PD groove. We only want to take in what's going to benefit, be good for us when we're in that groove. When Tuesday's recipe posts, you know you're in the PD groove when you get excited to see what it is, because you know your workplace for wellness is all stocked up with all your spices and your pantry staples, and you're more than likely going to have everything you need to make that new recipe. And that's fun. That's when it becomes fun, and that's when it becomes enjoyable. When you set yourself up like that, then it's like a game. It's a good thing to be a part of. It's not a chore. And I want everyone to get to that point, and I try my best to give you these kitchen systems that I use personally. Everything that I teach in this class, every product that I show you is because I do it myself. I use it. I wouldn't ever recommend that you do something that isn't something that makes my life practice easier, because I'm doing exactly what I'm suggesting you're doing. So I want to give you tools and systems that make life easier, not bombard you with things to learn. It's to simplify things.
Got another really applicable one. Barbara wrote in saying that she knows that she's in the PD groove because when she gets home from work, she knows that there's going to be at least 2 things in her pantry that she can whip up right quick that are so much better than anything she could have bought on the way coming home from work. So that's a great way to be in the groove. She's confident that she will have everything she needs to eat and satisfy her body healthily and her hunger.
Yes, Barbara is definitely in the groove, and she joined us, I want to say, maybe 3 months now. I don't know what her time is on a protective diet, but she has been in every Saturday morning live coaching hour. She's been in this classroom every single week, so I want to congratulate you. I know that Barbara has spent a lot of time watching and catching up with archives that are really going to help her with her kitchen systems and setting up her workplace for wellness. And and make this easier for her. She knows the science behind what she's doing, and she's producing amazing results. And now she has a partner with her that just joined her husband. So this is fantastic, Barbara. Congratulations. And also, Jerry, could you grab my phone? I have a couple testimonials I wanted to share.
Sure.
It's in there. I forgot I wanted to share those, but after I share those, I want to there's another one here. Cherie said, Julie's fantastic recipes using beans and rice have kept me in the groove for months. Thank you for simple ingredient recipes. Excellent, Cherie. Thanks for sharing. And I know you're doing well. I know you're in the groove. And I know you've had some challenges, and you're going to work right through them. And as we all do, we all have things that come along, health challenges, and if we're eating this way, they're going to be so much easier to get through than when I first met you. It's over 4 years now I've known you, and I've watched you go through just, oh my gosh, turn into a whole new healthy woman. And no matter what health challenges come our way, we are getting through them much easier with our practice. So I wanted to share a few testimonials. Barbara shared her 60-day testimonial. My A1C is down from 7.1 to 6.6 to 6.2 at 60 days. Her A1C, that's a marker for being pre-diabetic, and she is 100% PD. My doctor told me in July she would consider me diabetic at 6.4 or below. She wouldn't consider me anymore. Now pre-diabetic, but no, it's completely reversing. So I'm thrilled, even though my morning numbers are still 20 to 30 points too high. I think that Barbara is being a little bit too hard on herself at her 60-day testimonial, being down to 6.2 on her A1C. That's fantastic. Also, her cholesterol is comfortably under 150, so she's heart attack proof. But my HDL is low and my triglycerides are still going up. I plan to ride these numbers out till 90 or 120-day PD mark. I've lost 12 pounds, very grateful for that. So a big shift may be right around the corner. And then she talks about referencing about the normal range for her triglycerides and asking questions. Has anyone experienced this? Well, I have seen this consistently when people are in the process of weight loss. I've watched the triglycerides rise and then they come down after your weight is more regulated, after you stop losing weight, after you're closer to your ideal body weight and weight loss slows. So hang in there, Barbara. You're doing fantastic. Your body is showing all signs of healing and it's regulating, and your cholesterol is beautiful. Be proud. Okay, and then I have, she also adds, I feel great, have a lot of energy and better focusing ability, even started jogging my first half mile of my 2-mile jaunt each morning. Only problem is I have 2 pairs of baggy shorts. The stores are sold out. Still have a few months of summer left. Guess I'll have to find a belt. So she's experiencing baggy clothes syndrome at 60 days. That's fantastic. In other good news, my husband is now eating PD dinners. Last night was steamed broccoli, pinto beans, and cornbread, which was all delicious and filling. He ate seconds and happily ate the last of the breakfast brownies for dessert. His blood pressure is in the normal range without meds. Excuse me. Call me grateful and still stunned at the success, ease, and joy of eating PD. So she is finding joy, she's finding success, and she's finding ease in her practice, her full-time practice of a protective diet at 60 days. And the reason for this and these results she's experiencing is she started out her testimonial here sharing that she is 100% committed to a protective diet. And even though some of her numbers, her triglycerides went up due to the weight loss, she's like, I'm hanging in there. I'm not going to question this. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm doing this because she's seeing these results. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear her 90-day testimonial. It's just going to keep continuing to get better, as it does even for Jerry and I, as many years into this as we are. Jody has an update on her sweetheart. No blood sugar medicine for nearly 3 weeks. He was on a pill plus weekly injections. His blood sugar was known to run in the high 2 to 300s and a couple times over 500. He's been PD for about 45 days, lost 12 pounds, and his blood sugar tonight was 126. Boom, she writes. So thankful we are able to achieve this goal. We are a PD team. She sure is. That's awesome. And Jody wrote a testimonial today. She had on PDL, Protective Diet Living, our official support group, that she's down, I think it was, I can't even remember how many pounds, 70 or 80 pounds? Jody's down. Yeah, it was fantastic. And she posted a picture of her face. She looks beautiful and thrilled to have her husband on board with her. So another healthy couple working together, living in harmony. It's fantastic. Karen Kane, feeling pretty happy about my lab numbers today. A1C at 5.4, normal. BMI at 24.8, normal BMI. Congratulations, Karen. And weight down 20 pounds. Thanks for all the support during my first 6.5 months on PD. So she's been going strong on PD for 6.5 months and feels very supported. So that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Missy, she is one of our newer members, and she shared that today is my day 30, and I could not wait to weigh and measure. That never happened to me before because no style of eating has ever given me such consistent results. So here it is, without even the slightest sacrifice and never feeling starving, I might add. Her hips decreased by 2 inches, waist decreased by 2 inches, thighs, each thigh decreased by 3 inches, chest decreased by 0.5 inch, weight down 9.2 pounds, all in 30 days. Feeling great and even more motivated. Off to go pack my lunch. Have a great day, everyone. And right there is an example. Missy has been in our Saturday morning live coaching hours. She's been in the classroom. She's been active on Protective Diet Living. And here she is at her 30 days and saying she's never been excited about doing any kind of new eating plan. And here she is excited to pack her lunch. She is in the PD groove. Even though she's only 30 days in, she is doing it. She's taking daily action and excited and expecting results to be coming next. And this is a very, very important part of any practice that we get into. Go ahead.
The chat room right now is very excited with all these testimonials. So
I'm sorry that I don't share more of them, so I'm glad that they're excited about it.
And Karen wrote, thanks, Julie, for sharing hers.
And a lot of these testimonials were shared in Protective Diet Living, and I missed them as they went through the first time. So if you have a testimonial like I'm reading off, it could be just a little tidbit testimonial, how excited you are. That is going to inspire other people that are just getting started, or people like me that have been going at it for so long and forgot that feeling. I forget that first 30-day feeling of feeling like I can do this for the rest of my life. This is producing results, finally something. So when I read testimonials like Missy's or Barbara's or any of the ones that are sent in, I get excited. It lights my fire, and I know it does it for all of you who are in this classroom every single week and have been here for the past almost 4 years. It's great. So this is a great example of one I want to share quickly. Jerry had his birthday party last week, and it was on opening day of football, and the first Go Chiefs, first football game. Chiefs are Jerry's favorite team, and he was excited they're winning. And he invited his friends over, and one of his friends, Alex, that we met on the dog park, his dog plays with our dog Lucky, and he never experienced a protective diet, didn't really know much about it, but he knew that we were vegan because he had heard about how we feed Lucky. He knew that we teach classes and we lead a community with a protective diet, but he didn't know what it was about. He had experienced vegan food once, and he described it to me as a bowl of slop. So he didn't know what to expect coming over here. And when I served him grilled pizza, and what did we have? We had Greek nachos. Oh yeah. We had Chipotle salsa and baked tortilla chips that Jerry made. And what else did we have? We had another, black bean and corn summer salad. Of course, that's such a great dish. You can make ahead and everyone loves it. Well, he wrote a testimonial on protectivediet.com, and I wanted to share this as an example. He didn't even make a recipe, but he went to the website. He was so excited about the food. He couldn't believe that this was all healthy. We could have pizza and nachos like this with this tzatziki sauce. He was blown away. He said, "It is amazing how much better healthy food can taste when it's prepared the right way. I enjoyed an outstanding Thursday night football dinner with Julie and Jerry and was pleasantly surprised by how tasty their health food is. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and cooking for me, Julie." This is why I want you to invite people over, and don't make special accommodations for them. Share your favorite recipes that you know are going to go over well, like Greek nachos. Go ahead, Jerry.
In the chat room, Dottie wrote in saying, "I am 100% since January 3rd, 2017, down 28 pounds, total cholesterol 100, no problem staying 100%. Because I love the food and never feel deprived. All this possible even though I went through a breakup and grieving my sister's death!" Exclamation mark.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry for your loss. Two of them, and two massive life-changing, impacting experiences you went through during this time, and I'm glad you had protective diet as your constant and something to reward you after going through all of that. It had to have been a very stressful time on your immune system, and then you boosted it with this great food. And I love hearing that you're loving the food, because that's what makes it sustainable. A lot of times people are first introduced to a protective diet and they're like, this can't possibly work, and they doubt it, and they try to make their own version of protective diet and take away all the good stuff, and they're left with beans and rice, or rice and broccoli, and that's not sustainable. I could only maintain that for how long in the hospital? I couldn't wait to get home and make myself a pizza or make myself some
Speaking of
pasta.
Coming back home,
Yes.
Darlene wrote in sharing how...
Oh, by the way, please share that testimonial that you shared with us.
I've already asked on the...
Okay, excellent.
Darlene shared that a disaster happened in her house, that she had a kitchen fire.
Yes.
And she was in such a rush to get out the door. She didn't even wear matching shoes, but she had enough thought process
to grab
soup. PD-to-go kit, the starter kit. And she knew that no matter how bad things got with the cleanup and everything, she was never going to have to go off of PD, and she recommended, do not use a kitchen fire as a way of cleaning out your cabinets. It's not worth it.
No. Yeah, she had to start over completely, and what a stressful time. And I remember how well you managed that, Darlene. It was awesome. She is in the groove. All of you that are sharing this excitement that you're going to be able to do this as a lifestyle for the rest of your life, that is the PD groove. When you see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're like, oh, I've done this for 30 days like Missy, you're there. Check this wellness project, weight loss project, cross it off your to-do list. All you have to do from now on is make PD recipes and eat them exclusively. Don't let anything else derail you from your goal, and you don't have to worry about the weight loss project, the Heart Disease Reversal Project, the reversal of diabetes or eliminating risk of prediabetes that you were diagnosed with, arthritis pain, inflammatory pain, plantar fasciitis, GERD, all of these things that you might be challenged with. There's lists I could go through of challenges, health challenges and diseases that we've seen totally, completely reverse on a protective diet. So you can check those off the list. I know you've read a testimonial that matches up with yours. I hope you have, so that you feel confident, or reach out in our support group, Protective Diet Living, so you know there are people like you that have gotten to the other side of it. If we don't already have a class giving you that confidence, because I want you to see the other side of it. Check it off the list. All you have to do is stick to it. And man, with the recipes we have on Protective Diet, if you can't stick to it, it's because you're making it into a bigger project than it is by trying to pave your own road to get to the end. Don't do that. I've already drawn the map, and the map is filled with delicious food. That's all you have to do is stock that pantry so it's easy to make, and make it and eat. Don't restrict. Okay, so action steps leading to the PD advantage, or feeling like you're going with the flow or in the groove of this awesome lifestyle that we get to eat and not restrict. Jump in and learn as you go. So if you're just getting started today, or you've been hanging out with us and you're like, okay, finally, Julie, I hear you today. I want to get into the PD groove. I want these experiences, everyone I'm watching unfold around me for them. Why isn't it unfolding for me? The only reason is you're not taking daily action. So do it. Jump in today and learn as you go. Learn the science and why we cut the nuts, the oil, the sugar, the coffee, the food additives out. It's all in the lessons. Get into those foundational lessons and understand how cholesterol works in the body, and how you don't need to worry about your cholesterol numbers if you're practicing a protective diet moving forward, because you will have the PD advantage and you will have a strong endothelium. And when you're eating a protective diet, cholesterol does not stand a chance, nor is it ever a concern again. Understand the advantages of Tastebud reprogramming and why we keep high fat and concentrated sugars out of the diet. So we're not going to slip those nuts back in, because they're just going to derail us and cause us to want those high fat sauces and high fat foods. They're not something that it's easy to limit and only have a few of here and there. So we take them out completely, and we go on living a happy life, eating all of the foods that we've replaced the nuts in. We have a recipe for nuts, N-U-Z. Put it in the search box. You can add those to your muffins and your baked goods if you want, to your breakfast brownies, to your fudge. We have fudge with nuts in it. I mean, we have everything. There's no reason to not be able to do this, except if you are feeling like you're sacrificing, if you're feeling like you are, if you're having resistance and discomfort in your practice. I want this to be eliminated. So watch that lesson number 80, and it talks about eliminating the feelings of like you're sacrificing, and you're looking at your practice as a privilege, where you're like, oh my gosh, I have all this knowledge and understanding of nutritional science and nutritional intervention with a protective diet, and what I can do to become this superhuman, or to make my children and my family superhuman and protected from disease, or protected to the maximum if you're ever faced with an accident or something that was growing in your brain since you were born, like I experienced. I thank God every day that I had the protective diet advantage, because I'm going through stuff still till now. I still have to have my skull reconstructed, and thank God I have this advantage, because I'm going through things that I never imagined I would be going through. And without this, I wouldn't be able to sit here and be in this frame of mind to teach this class or to do anything with my life if I didn't have it. Eliminate distractions or other people's noise, as I call it. This will help you out. You don't need someone telling you what doesn't work and what does work and derailing you from your focus, from your trust, from your understanding of what you've learned so far. Negative comments or challenging posts in support group can be very distracting. We get them every now and then in our own support group, such as I've been on a protective diet for 6 months and I didn't lose any weight, or my cholesterol hasn't even budged. And I have to tell you, this is just not even possible. There's something that's not 100% there. There's an off and on practice. There is usually someone that I've never even seen in my classroom. I've never engaged with. They pop up. They enrolled 6 months ago maybe, and they never took part in the material, and now they're upset. So they're posting, and they are looking for support and encouragement. And sometimes when I ask, about their practice, they feel challenged, and I don't want to do that. So usually I just let those roll. But for those of you just getting started, I don't want that making you doubt what you're doing, because we have far too many successful people in our community. Reach out to the successful ones. I want you to have proactive partners, like in lesson 124. In that lesson, we talk about don't surround yourself with, what do they call it?
Debbie Downers.
Debbie Downers, negative Nellies, people that aren't encouraging you with any project you have in life. I'm not talking about just a protective diet. I'm talking about if you decide you want to run marathons, you're signing up for your first marathon. Say it's a 5K or a half marathon or a full out marathon or an Ironman or whatever you're doing. I don't want you to hear the noise of people saying, oh, you shouldn't run, it's bad for your feet. If you want to run, guess what? You'll find out if it's bad for your feet or not on your own. Make your own decisions. This is your life. And with this, with a marathon, I want you to surround yourself with people that have accomplished a marathon, not with people that are trying to run. I want you to engage with people in a community of experts, people that have done it, that are going to cheer you on and say, go, go, go.
Speaking of that, CJ is on day 25 of 100%.
Oh, fantastic. Let's bring it home, CJ. Just keep it going. Keep those pizzas coming. She's making pizzas in the pre-class chat for her husband. I'm so impressed. I'm so excited. And I want you to succeed. I want you to follow through for yourself. And I want this so bad. And I can't want this more than you. But I sometimes I felt like I did before. And I'm so glad something clicked. A switch turned on. Something lined up. And now it's happening. So I'm excited. So keep it going and keep sharing with us. And I know you'll always be here. So I want the people that are always here to be experiencing what people are experiencing that are taking action daily and following through. So about that, those proactive partners, surround yourself in our community with people that are successful. I see this go on a lot where a new person joins and they're having challenges, and then someone swoops in and says, oh, I'll private message with you. Well, that's great. But a lot of times the new person doesn't know, is this a success story? Is this someone that's following through? And maybe they go off and they talk about how it's not working for them. I want you, if you're having any kind of struggle or challenges, I am here 2.5 hours a week, sometimes like 4.5 hours a week, because our Saturday morning live coaching hour goes so late, because I love reconnecting with all of you. I'm always here on Tuesday, always on Saturday. I'm in and out of protective diet living. Sometimes I miss a post. That's why I'm saying this is more direct and I can answer your questions right away. But there is always someone in protective diet living, and you know who these people are from this classroom, from these shout outs that I gave you today, who's in the groove. I mean, look at who we have tonight in this classroom. We have Darlene, we have Karen, we have CJ. Now CJ, I know you know every detail about a protective diet, and the only thing holding you up of following through with your 100% practice like you're doing now, and I'm so proud of you, was making a decision to do this for yourself. So CJ would be a great person to reach out to. Jerry and Marcy and Sally, and who haven't I named that's here? Angela, for goodness sakes. All of you that show up for this classroom and scrolling, so I'm missing Cherie. You're all well versed with this, and Jennifer, of course, she knows what she's doing. So what else did I want to mention? When you're in the groove, you have eliminated all the distractions from derailing you. Your confidence is high and nothing can stop you. Nothing can get in your way. You're surrounded by people that are walking this walk along with you. Surround yourself with those people always. We're always around, and we're always excited to engage with other people that want this lifestyle as well. It's fun when we're a group doing this together. You're all in all the time, even in times of devastation, like she shared tonight, and always feeling like it's a privilege and a pleasure to keep you committed to your optimal health goals. That's our ultimate goal. And a lot of times weight loss is a focus in our chats on Saturday morning. And I want to remind you that excess body fat does not partner up with optimal health. It just doesn't work out. And if we're talking about the last 15 pounds here, and you are in your normal BMI and you want to lose that last 15, 20 pounds, it's going to happen with a mindful eating practice, I promise. There's no way around it. It's that last step, that last icing on the cake, if that's what you wish to do. But you're still going to be you're going to look very slim and trim, practicing a protective diet, eating pretty much as you want, eating those extra chips like I used to do with Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
In the chat room right now, there's someone that is saying that they're in the groove for a little while, and then something happens in their mind, and then they go completely off plan. They allow their mental switch to change their actions, and they're asking why would something like that happen. My input before you go on is that making a resolute decision to act a certain way, regardless of what circumstances or events present themselves, really makes it easy to continue your path regardless of what happens. It's making that decision that it's no other option is available. Now she's saying that, I don't know if it's a man or woman, they're going on to say that it's birthdays, events, family gatherings, boredom. These are the different things that allow that get them to go off plan.
There's other people commenting as well here saying the same thing, that I found there was always some event that I let myself go off PD for. There will always be those events. So she's saying, I'm stopping this. I had to change my mind that those events were more important than my health and happiness, that those events were not more important than my health and happiness. So that should help the person writing in about always feeling like there's something getting in the way. And we're at the beginning of the fall here in the end of September, and we're going to be going into the holidays. And I just want you to really understand the impact one off-plan meal has on your endothelium, on your immune system, on your goals, on your taste bud reprogramming. There's so many reasons physically and scientifically why I can tell you not to do it. But mentally, it's so hard on us. We know the science. I know you know the science if you're in this classroom. Maybe you're just getting started. Go back and revisit those lessons in the archives. Click on the different categories and scroll through them, the foundational lessons, and learn about acidic foods and inflammation and inflammatory disease and what's going on inside your body and how hard that is on your body, always correcting your poor food choices. We make acidic food choices, bad food choices of animal products and oils and sugar, and then and food additives. And then what do we have to do? Our body spends the entire time after a meal correcting and alkalizing the food that we just ate. So then it can't spend time focusing on giving us high energy so that we feel good and we can get on with our life and perform the best we can. We can't spend time healing our body, protecting our body from virus and disease or irregular cells that might be happening in our system. Our body can't defend against it. If you're not eating those foods that I talk about, angiogenesis inhibiting foods. So those are the foods that made it possible for me to have this surgery and have brain tumor removed, because my tumor encapsulated, it had this nice little divider around it because of the foods that I had been eating for so long. So if we're not including those foods in our diet, it's going to be very hard for our body to make it through this lifetime without disease, without going through basically being faced at a crossroads of do or die. And I don't want you to be starting a protective diet when you're faced with something life-threatening. Because like I've said to you in the past, if I wouldn't have come home from my emergency room trip and the biopsy with the brain tumor and looked at Jerry and said, I don't have to change a thing about my salad. Oh my gosh, thank God I already have this down pat. Because if I wouldn't have had that down pat, it would have been way too overwhelming at the point of a cancer diagnosis to make changes in my life. I'm just being honest. When you send someone the link for a protective diet because they just got diagnosed with cancer yesterday, it's overwhelming. Believe it or not, even me, in the state of health I was in, with a regressed tumor, on a protective diet, leading a community, teaching classes, and I was sent links to diets for my brain cancer diagnosis. And I felt how overwhelming it was. So I want everyone to get in the swing of it, not in the fear of cancer, to eliminate the fear of a diagnosis of something that then you have to scramble. If you're already eating a protective diet, you're going to go through things a lot easier and hopefully never at all. That is my hopes. So hopefully that will help you if you hang on to the science and you set yourself up so it's easy. If someone just popped by tonight and said, hey Julie, Jerry, you want to go out with us for pizza? We're going out for taco night. It's Taco Tuesday. I'd be like, hey, no, let me make tacos. Why?
No.
Hey, no, I have everything to make PD tacos. I can make beans, I can make, the beefless taco filling. I have everything to make those staples. I always have tortillas in my refrigerator or in my freezer. So we can make tostada night. It's still like Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. So I'm just saying that there's no reason that I have to be derailed and going to a holiday party this year. I would think people would want me going to their holiday party because I have to say that my PD dishes are far better than a lot of the standard American diet dishes that most people serve at a Thanksgiving meal. And I hope to give you another example of a Thanksgiving meal before Thanksgiving comes up so you can see how some of our friends, I'm trying to arrange for it, some of our friends to come to a PD Thanksgiving meal that have never experienced a PD Thanksgiving, that aren't familiar with how good a protective diet can be, so that you can see what you can bring to a mixed bunch of Thanksgiving diners, or so you can see, you can host a 100% PD dinner and you'll be able to see how I did it all myself and served everybody. So that's in my plans to share. I'm still rounding up some friends. I haven't asked anyone yet. And there are going to be people that are not familiar with our PD Thanksgiving meals. So if you're going to invite yourself, you're not invited. You've already had them. I thought about inviting our PD community to this, but then I'm like, no, I want you to really see how it goes down with people that haven't had a PD meal before, or are totally unfamiliar with how good tofu can taste, or beans made into chocolate frosting.
That's right.
But if there's any other comments coming through or questions, please ask them. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up with tonight. But I'm so excited to bring you this class about the PD groove because this is something that I am so deep into, and Jerry is so deep into, and a lot of people are in our community. And you see them in our classroom every week, and you see them on Protective Diet Living posting pictures of the meals that they had, that they prepared the day I put out the recipe, like Martha and Angela, and all of you do this. And it's like right quick, they've got the new recipe, a photo of it, and it's shared, and that's their joy because they're so into the groove. They're trying to encourage others and engage with our community to feel a part of something, just like I like to feel a part of something, and excite all of you. And hearing your testimonials just, oh my gosh, it makes me so excited. It gets me back in the test kitchen, creating the next great recipe to keep you going, because I want to keep all of you going that have had so much success so far, and encourage anyone just getting started to just follow along. Don't make up a new path. Don't confuse yourself. It doesn't have to be so hard. You don't have anything to figure out around here except to follow directions, which are pretty easy from what I've heard. The recipes are pretty easy to follow. So cream cheese is this week. Angela's yelling cream cheese. And the cream cheese recipe I wanted to share with you, there's going to be some spin-offs of this recipe coming up. So before you start posting my recipes, before I share my recipes, I was a little anxious to share the cream cheese recipe because we have so many creative chefs in our community, and I just imagined, oh my gosh, they're gonna post these recipes before I get a chance to post them. But we have some great things coming up, and for the holiday I will have a cheese ball for you, of course, and we have onion and chive cream cheese coming up, and also Lebanese cream cheese dip that's very traditional, that this recipe was actually mimicked from. This is how in the Middle East how they make cream cheese. They make it out of classic yogurt, but this is how they make it. So when I was looking up traditional recipes, this is how I came up with this idea to make cream cheese out of our yogurt. How simple and how perfect, and it's so delicious. I can't wait to hear the feedback from all of you.
We're all set.
All right. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and do your best and get into that PD groove. You can all have the PD advantage. All it takes is trusting the process, understanding the science behind it to reinforce it for you, and eat your way to optimal health. Enjoy. Take care, everyone.
Enjoy your week, everybody. Thanks.
Best of health.
See you.